Happy Wednesday and welcome to the Beat of Sports. Marc Daniels. That's Chris Vasquez over there. And off we go. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
I'm all right.
Can I show some love real quick to one of our listeners who texted in?
Yeah.
They went to Bowigan's yesterday and indulged in a few of the 15% beers.
That's pretty high in
They,
alcohol content.
The beer aged in cognac barrels. Quadtastic Voyage.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
15%.
Yes.
Do a couple of those, you need an Uber home, don't you?
That would be correct.
Yeah. Okay.
But shout out for the Bowigan's love.
All right. Welcome to the program. We're up and running. If you're listening to us, 96.9 FM, 740 AM, the iHeart app, or the stream available on YouTube. How do you find that? Go to YouTube. Type in 96 of the game Orlando. Click on the 96 of the game icon. Click the live option, and you can watch the video stream. The goal is to get 3 people.
We're a third of the way there. Nope. Now we're 66% of the way there.
I'm not saying another word until we get a third person. I will hold the audience hostage. You can also access on Twitter, right? If you click on the stream on Twitter as well. Okay. Go to 96 of the game. Question from the guy from Whoville in the.
Do I turn him on?
No, he doesn't like his mic on.
Okay.
What?
Do I have to watch the YouTube or do I watch in person?
That's a good question. Scott Harris is in studio. I don't know. Both, if you can. Yeah. So check it out if you haven't seen the stream, and then you can go back and watch that also. Some of you listen to the show on the podcast when it's convenient for you, or you can go back and watch it on video yesterday. Somebody told me yesterday they were shocked to see what you look like.
Again?
I think it was a compliment, though. See, and then I pressed a little bit, and I've known you for, I don't know how many years I've known you, a long time, right? Mm-hmm. So when somebody says, I thought he looked like this, my vision is how I've only seen you for the last 10, 12 years I know you. And I think they thought you were a heavy-set guy.
I mean, I do have a dad
I kind of talk like heavy-set, sweats a lot, and I'm like, I saw him, and they comment and go, oh, he looks younger and not as big as I thought.
I don't know how
to. So you have that going for you. They don't think you're a fat slob or something like that.
But the fact that they think originally that I'm a fat slob is, I don't know how to take that.
But no, they kind of, wow, I didn't realize Chris looked like that. So take it as a compliment.
All right, I guess. Thanks.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Why not?
Hey, we're up to 9. We shattered your 3.
Don't tease me, bro. Get to 20 and just stop the show. And that same person said, I've got a couple of ideas when you guys do that show within the show, which is a few times during the radio program, during breaks, we'll do something different on the stream. And I'm like, great. Content providers. I'm like, you ought to think about, I'm like, hey, am I coming to your office tomorrow? Huh? What do you do? Am I coming by your place?
Well, I always get curious to see what people would think. Like, how can we be better? I'd just be curious. Like, did you listen to what they had to say?
Yeah.
And?
Well, they might be listening, so I'm sure they're great ideas, what the person said. Yeah. They're fantastic. Uh-huh.
Okay.
The beauty is we'll trial and error and make some mistakes and have some fun with it along the way. Anyway, Keith Smith is going to join us, his weekly basketball visit. The Magic will be back in action tomorrow and begin a little West Coast road trip. We'll get Keith's thoughts on that and some other things that came out of the All-Star game. Ben Portnoy, Sports Business Journal, is coming on. By the way, the Gators, Hugh Hathcock, the booster, Billy Napier, and Jaden Rashada settled their NIL dispute. Terms not to be revealed until someone reveals them. But that case has now been settled. When Discovery began, I guess the parties were like, this isn't in anybody's best interest. What they settled on, maybe at some point we'll find out about that. But Ben did a deep dive talking to people on both sides with football programs, players, agents, and here's what everybody concludes. Nothing's enforceable. Nothing. What's in writing? Yeah, whatever.
Rashad is on what, his fourth school?
Are we counting Miami since he committed there?
Why not?
5. Mississippi State right now, which I had to go, wait, 1, 2, yeah. And Scott Harris will be by for a little movie Wednesday, a little bit later on the program. So we got all that fun stuff coming up. First, here's everybody's favorite segment.
It's almost like an unwritten rule that when you become a father, you become king of the bad dad jokes.
What is Forrest Gump's password? 1 Forrest 1.
Are you ready to laugh? We know at least one person is. Here's CB's dad joke of the day.
Oh, that's so great.
There's nothing like having a dad joke dance. A DJD. Dad joke dance. You ready for today's joke?
Oh, I thought that was the joke.
No.
Okay.
What should you do if you ever get locked out of your house?
I don't know, Chris. What should you do if you ever get locked out of your house?
You should whisper to your lock. Communication is key.
He really thinks it's like the greatest joke he's ever said.
Communication is key.
Uh-huh. Press the button. Get us out of this.
Never fear. Marc Daniels is here. Welcome back to the Beat of Sports.
Keith Smith coming up next segment. Talk a little basketball, which I do want to touch on just a little bit. A few things. First, yesterday Greg Allman was on from Fox Sports talking about the moves the Dolphins were making, and Greg's covered the Bucs for I think 15 years. I asked him about Mike Evans, and he talked about Mike, and lo and behold, there's a little bit of news as the agent for Mike Evans said that his client plans on playing a 13th season. They'd like it to possibly be in Tampa, but didn't say it's the only place that they're going to be playing. So Greg was kind of right yesterday.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot.
Chris butchered his quote.
I did not butcher. Did not butcher it. It's getting decent traction though, but I just did not add the basically
Chris
don't
put
give
out-
him a blank.
Chris
check.
put up a quote from Greg Allman, and then Greg was like, well, here's what else I added. Translation, scratch him off the list of people ever coming back on the show again.
Great. I just suck as a producer.
No, not that bad.
But I keep seeing a lot of Buffalo for Mike Evans, and does he really want to play in the cold?
Well, but I think you're seeing a lot of Buffalo because the Bills want to add a guy that they think helps them because of the Super Bowl window that's here right now.
Right.
So therefore you become infatuated with, Mike Evans, the healthy Mike Evans, the one that gets it. Yeah. And I hope Mike Evans is healthy. Like I said yesterday, I'm not a Buck fan, but I like Mike Evans, and I hope Mike Evans never wears another uniform. But I don't know if his agent and Mike Evans feel like, hey, we'll give a discount, we'll stay in Tampa. My guess is that they're going to get some crazy offer because someone's going to always overpay, and they'll have to make a decision about that.
Again, I think his career is at the point where he's got the ring, so he can, obviously he still wants to contend and, be in it late in the season. He doesn't want to play for a team that's going to be 5-12. But, if he didn't have the ring, then I think he would look at a place like Buffalo as a destination. But I think the ring, maybe he then now stays in Tampa. Does that make sense?
Yeah. This may sound like a stupid argument. It's not even an argument. Who would you make the favorite in the NFC South next year? Assuming health is somewhat back to normal.
I would still have to say Tampa.
Okay. Who's the favorite in the AFC East next year?
I would say Buffalo.
Okay. Winning a division gets you a home playoff game, correct?
Yes.
Who's got a better chance of being a 1 seed?
That would be the Bills.
Okay. I guess I'm trying to make the argument that he could come back to a team that still may end up winning the division.
Mhm.
It's not like the Bucs are. If the Bucs are healthy, they're not going to win 4 games. They may still be a 9-win team or 10-win team. So maybe that's part of the lure to go back. But we'll see.
Yeah, again, the NFC South is one of the weaker divisions in football. So you're in it, even with 7-8 wins, you could still be in it to win the division. But again, it's just a matter of
That's another dream of mine. Someone 7-10 wins the division while going 0-6 in the division. It's the greatest thing that could ever happen.
but it's just a matter of how deep does he want to go in the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, let me 2 things basketball wise. You were, I think, in the studio during the bridge. I brought it to Kelly, and I did admit maybe it is an age thing and a generation thing for me. But the Paolo Banchero clip that's out there of him working out in the Bahamas, is it more just younger generation does content, you promote a brand, it's about that? You can't possibly be asking me to go, are you impressed during the All-Star break working on his game? You can't possibly be. That's like a Mick Cronin question.
No, I don't.
Are you raising your voice to me?
I don't think he's trying to show people that, hey, be impressed. I'm working out in the Bahamas. It might just be merchandise, branding.
Right, which, again, I said to Kelly, even my question about it, it's not questioning him. I'll say what I said for weeks now about Paolo this season. It's not been a great year. I don't know if he's in the best shape. I don't know from the injury if he came back too early and the pressure of that. And I believe at this stage of his career, he needs Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Anthony Black, when he wants to play Wendell Carter Jr., Mobon, to play their game to help him. And if the counter is, well, that's not a superstar, then I'm saying his career's not done. He can still be better. And there's basketball things you can criticize, but I think I've been a little bit more defender than the way out there group that wants him traded and all that stuff. To me, the basketball side of it is, okay, here comes a 4-game trip out west out of the All-Star break. Let's see. Let's see how locked in. I don't know if they trust me. I spent 8 hours a day in the gym in the Bahamas. And by the way, check out the Dry Fit. That doesn't do anything for me. But if you're in your 20s and you follow him on social media and he wants you to buy merchandise, maybe that's what that video's for.
This core has been together, 3 years?
Yeah.
And they've showed improvement from start to where they're at
2 years
now.
ago, you got to a Game 7. Last year, the injuries derailed the whole season.
And again, this year, injuries showing face again. The point is patience going to be a factor here? Are Magic fans going to be patient? Is management going to be patient? Or is another one and done this year in the playoffs?
I know, but yes, all those questions we've talked about, I guess I'm kind of bringing it back to him. Okay, again, you're younger than me. Do you? Well, I know how you look at all these videos promoting things in social media, which drives you crazy. But maybe I need to just conclude that's not for me. It's content to sell merchandise. It's content to an Instagram.
It looks cool.
Following, yeah,
it looks cool. You get hits and clicks.
Okay.
You get likes.
I'm not mad that it's posted. I was just curious because I know I would view it different than who that video is intended for.
Everyone does it. You add some cool music. You make it look real nice, real pretty, look badass, and you get likes.
Okay.
You get likes.
That's why I'm asking. Okay. All right. So yesterday, Mark Cuban posted a few things on Twitter that went viral regarding tanking, which has been a big topic in the NBA. You get up to the trade deadline, teams make deals. You saw what the Jazz did. They got fined. The Pacers got fined. By the way, the game after the Pacers beat the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, and Rick Carlisle asked about the availability of his only three remaining starters because he's got other guys injured. He's like, yeah, they're not playing. But you can read Cuban's tweets. I'm not going to repeat it for you, but kind of the gist of what Cuban said, to summarize, is the NBA should embrace tanking. And his reasoning is they should focus on the fan experience. And he goes on to give examples like, most of us won't remember the score of games that we went to, but we'll remember the experience of going with our fans, if we took our family and with our kids, and if you had a special night. So I think it's a little interesting, except I would counter back, and I will give Cuban credit. He didn't just post 180 characters. He put a lot of thought into this and talked about when he owned the team that the Mavericks did tank a few times to try to get a better pick. And he does give a view like, but we were somewhat honest with the fans, even though you can't say you're tanking, but the fans understood. And his point was fans will understand what's going on. And he says the current system is such that it is the way you have to go because of how the draft is. And he says that he recommended, quickly shot down by other owners, and this idea has been kicked around before, quickly 10 o'clock hour, WYJM Orlando, WJR HD2 Cocoa Beach. Hey, instead of the draft, you give the monetary value of what that pick would be to a team. So if you have the worst record of the NBA, then you get what would be the contract the number one pick of the draft could get. But the player then has to decide, I don't want to go to the worst team in the league. Okay, you want to go to the best team. They have the least amount of money. I've talked about that. I'm not the original idea for that, but that's not new. That's been out there for a while. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm also a realist. Chris, do you ever think the NFL or the NBA will ever get rid of the draft unless they lose in court and someone says that the concept of the draft is illegal? Well, let's assume that they don't lose in court. They're never going to dump the draft.
No.
Never.
No.
Why? Because, again, we play games in certain months. The NBA and the NFL is a 12-month business. It's a 12-month business, right? In the NFL, we're done with games, but we got this stuff coming up in the offseason. So they're not getting rid of the draft. But the idea about, hey, it's about the fan experience. The problem with that is, and he talks about rising ticket prices. Mark, how do you want to lower the ticket price? When the team either A is quietly whispering that they're tanking, they don't lower ticket prices. They may not raise some season ticket prices, and there may be a few sections over the years that I think the Magic did this a few years ago that they lowered the cost of, tough sections to sell by a few dollars per game when they knew there's not going to be a big demand for these. But we're not exactly seeing teams go, hey, next couple of years, bumpy, so we're slashing season ticket prices 25%. No. And the other thing also about, hey, embraced experience and fans accept tanking is fans aren't stupid. Fans aren't stupid. To get me to want to go to games, and I'm going to use this franchise in Orlando as an example for that decade of rebuilding. When your fans don't go to your game, or when your fans go to your games, but not to see your players, but to see who's on the visiting team, not a good formula, right? Not a good formula. When they're like, well, who do you want to watch on our team? Nobody. But Steph's in town, not a good formula. So that doesn't necessarily work.
You can't sell me on a fan experience when you're not putting out your best players. Your best players aren't even playing. You're going to get blown out by 30 every night. But how does that give a fan experience?
Part of his argument was, look, you have to start a rebuild somewhere and then begin to work your way. And his argument might be, hey, Mark, Chris in Orlando, do you remember when the Magic began to draft these guys that now is their young core? Well, they had to start somewhere, so they bottomed out and they began to draft guys, and now you got guys that you want to go see. That would be his argument back, is that's why it works. So along the way, as they build that, we want to put on a great show at the arena, and you want to go and have a good time and all that stuff. But you still can't just tell your fans, hey, come out and have fun. Are we trying tonight? That doesn't matter. No, are we trying to win? Don't worry about that. Look over here. Wasn't that a cool DJ and giveaway we just did during the under 7 timeout in the first quarter?
Again, like, you want to say that teams got to bottom out, and I get that. You want to get the better draft pick, but it's not a guarantee, as we know, that these draft picks are going to hit.
Well, it's not a guarantee that you get the number 1 pick. How many times in recent years have the team with the worst record Dallas didn't have the worst pick. Didn't have the worst record. And they got the number 1 pick.
If you're Utah, you tried real hard to tank last year, worst record. They ended up with the 2nd or 3rd pick?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying real hard this year with no guarantee that they're going to end up with the number 1 pick. There's no fix for this.
Here's one of his quotes. He said, we didn't tank often, only a few times over 23 years. But when we did, our fans appreciated it, and it got us to where we could improve, trade up, and get Luka and improve our team. I don't know if your fans appreciate it.
No.
Like I said, for the Magic, there was a group of fans that loved the, salary cap, draft assets, cash considerations, and that was boring. Because when you play 82 games and on most nights your team had no chance to win, I don't know if your fans appreciated it. Look, I do agree, because I think that the consumer in the NBA does have access to more information. Whether they're smarter, I don't know. But they have access to more information, meaning they'll understand, okay, we're kind of rebuilding here. But I still think they like to know that the organization is trying to win without the guarantee, but they want to see some improvement. But how could you possibly ask your fans when you get to game, let's pick a random number, 25 of an 82-game schedule, and you've played 13 of 41 home games, and the organization doesn't have to tell you, but they're telling you, we don't care what happens the rest of the season, but don't you want to come out and have fun because the music's really cool and our dance team's outstanding, and wait till you see what they do in the 3rd quarter? That's a tough sell. It's a tough sell because the key person to buy the ticket of the family of 4 might be the one that cares about the effort and be like, yeah, but his kids will have fun. Yeah, but he may say, I'm not spending $600 to $800 tonight if we're not even trying.
It's just a sad state of affairs when you're actively and openly promoting tanking.
Well, careful now. No one openly promotes it. I mean,
Okay.
Cuban to a degree is telling you, it's obvious we did it some years. No one openly promotes it. But that gets
You openly
but it gets back
promote,
to the point that fans aren't stupid.
but you openly promote it by putting out second and third stringers, not playing your best players. Or you have a lead in the fourth quarter. Let's sit our best players to make sure that we don't win.
Do you know what's interesting, Chris? Because it's almost like a daily thing. I go and I look. Utah Jazz fans have rallied around Will Hardy and even the team because of the negative image. And when I say rally, they've gone, well, Oklahoma City did it and so did it. It's interesting. In a way, they're okay where they are because their fan base has come to the support of all the negative that's been put out there on the Jazz. Maybe just because of the media coverage. Like, don't pick on our team if you're not going to pick on these teams. It's not supporting, hey, I hope we lose every game. But it's more like, if you're going to pick on us, at least mention these other teams that are doing it. Either did it in the past or teams that are doing it right now.
It makes no sense to me to actively tank, but then expect your fans to come support the team. Expect your fans to still pay full price for tickets, concessions, merchandise, everything like that, when you're not putting your best foot forward.
But I guess the last thing, and it's not total agreement with Cuban, it's on the NBA, which starts with the owners and commissioner, to change it. Meaning, do you want to implement a system that changes what we call tanking? And here's why I do agree with Cuban. We, as media and fans, may not like it. There appears to be no interest among owners to do it. So it would take Silver convincing the owners this is bad for our product. Because Cuban is right. There are some owners that are like, oh, we got to kind of rebuild this thing. We spent this much money. We're not winning. And there seems to be no traction. Like, I thought Silver's word salad at the All-Star game wasn't a good look for him. But I also think, as the commissioner, he is in a way speaking for the owners. And I'm guessing his frustration may be like, I can't convince these guys. We've got to change it. Because I don't think there's any interest among owners. I think they're willing to say, hey, put him out there. He takes it at the All-Star game. No one's yelling at me. The owner of the Jazz is on Twitter barking back, going, hey, I don't care about your stupid fine. This is what we're doing. And it's working. His fans seem to be okay with it.
At this point,
now keep losing for 10 more years, and they may not be.
At this point, it would probably take not getting rid of the draft, but finding a way to change the draft. But again, there's no perfect solution.
Well, that's up to the owners and commissioner to figure it out. Keith Smith on this and other basketball-related topics next.
Time to talk basketball with Keith Smith. The latest on the Magic and around the NBA. Follow Keith on Twitter at Keith Smith NBA.
All right, we talk hoops with Keith on these Wednesdays. The NBA schedule resumes tomorrow. The Magic begin a West Coast trip and a chance to catch up with Keith and talk about a whole bunch of things. Keith, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
I want to pick up last segment. Chris and I were talking. Mark Cuban posted some things on Twitter yesterday that went viral, talking about tanking, and it's been a big topic at the All-Star game this past weekend. And, Mark said, hey, the NBA should embrace tanking and make it more about the fan experience. And he gave examples. Hey, we did it, and we didn't do it a lot, but we did it. It helped us get, Luka and all that stuff. Just initial reaction when you read Cuban's comments.
Yeah, I think, one, he's speaking as someone who is no longer a primary governor of a team. So I don't know, if he's eligible to be fined or how that'll work. But I also think he's being honest. I think everyone knows tanking is a strategy that has proven to work quite often for teams. Even if you don't get the number one pick, you get, other, high picks. There when you go down that road, and it's been proven over and over again. One of the best ways to very quickly improve your team is to improve through the draft. So I think that is certainly there with that, and I think he's being a little honest in his comments too, of like, hey, this is kind of how this goes. Like, everybody does this, and what's funny is nobody with the Jazz or with the Pacers who are fined for tanking is none of their fans are saying, oh, we're not tanking, here's, X, Y, and Z, what it was. They're like, yeah, we're doing it, but we don't really care. So, what's the point of this? And that's where, it becomes a big, question mark of, all right, if the fans of the teams don't necessarily care, then, how are you punishing these teams for this?
Yeah, I commented because I almost do it daily now to go look at the reaction in Utah, and it has been in support of Will Wade with an owner that's been active on social media. And it's almost like the Jazz fans, they're not endorsing lose every game, but they're like, hey, what about what Oklahoma City did? What about what these teams? So they've almost rallied around it. So I guess you could argue Cuban's point is, look, they understand what's going on. So he's right. If he is, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely is right. And now on the flip side, I get it, when it's easy for fans to say things like, hey, it's fine if we're losing games, but, if it turns into, whoa, wait a minute, the arena's half full. All right, well, you're not coming anymore. So where are we going with that? I get it from, when teams start to, gripe and complain of, oh, man, look at this team. The Magic benefited from playing the Jazz in a game where they took all their starters and main guys out, didn't play them, didn't take timeouts, and basically kind of threw away the game and lost. And that's where I think you got to be very cautious of, where we go down the road with this. But I think it is something that, for the NBA, if it turns into season ticket holders start complaining or ticket sales fall off, or all of a sudden no one's watching games and things like that, then you've got a bigger problem on your hands. You're going to have to figure it out. But for right now, I think we've hit a point in the season, wasn't a lot going on to talk about, and I think this kind of blew up into a much bigger thing than it really has been.
I remind myself that commissioners speak for owners. That's the role that they're in. I thought Adam Silver's press conference last week was not good. He looks a little bit weakened with some of the things out there, but yet he's defending owners. But when it came about, topics like tanking, Giannis and Kalshi, some of the other issues, I don't know. It just seemed like Adam Silver maybe a little bit off a little bit. I'm curious your thoughts on his presser last week of the NBA State of the Game address.
Yeah, it wasn't great, and that's where I do think it is important. What you said is that everybody goes to Adam Silver, and I get it, and that's part of the role of the commissioner is to you're taking the punches for the owners in a lot of cases. But everybody screams and yells, "Oh, he did this, he did that, he did this." Adam Silver doesn't really do a whole lot on his own. It's mostly the owners voted for X, Y, and Z. The owners voted for this, and the Giannis one. I get where he's coming from, and I think he was with that one. He was being very careful not to run afoul of what was a negotiated part of the collective bargaining agreement. They negotiated that players could invest in these kind of things and could be marketing partners for betting companies, prediction markets, all those sorts of things. And I get, where the questions and complaints are coming from, because it wasn't a great look that, they went through all this, and Giannis, then on the backside comes out. I think it was probably a pretty smart marketing ploy, but I just think that was, a question where I think Adam Silver is being kind of careful on that, because there is, what happened is allowed by the CBA. And then with the tanking stuff, yeah, I mean, a lot of this is it's the owners that are griping. I mean, it's now a pretty well-known story that the Oklahoma City Thunder, who own the protected Jazz pick, have complained to the league about, Utah's efforts to tank to keep that pick. And Utah is in a position where, they're doing what they kind of feel like they have to do. And I think Oklahoma City, if they were just losing games or if guys were legitimately out of the lineup, it'd be one thing. I think it's the in-game manipulation that is what's really bothering people here, with the idea of, hey, wait a minute, now we're pulling guys out of games and the like. I think that's what's starting to get to a place where no one's feeling overly okay with it.
Yeah, I just want to follow up one point. I totally agree. When you're benching guys in the fourth quarter, to me, you're slapping the fans in the face. And I do think there's a risk, which you kind of touched on, that maybe Cuban, I'm not saying he didn't bring up or forgot, is when an NBA fan doesn't know who's playing night to night, I think that's dangerous. It's one thing when a guy's out and you know that he's out because you witnessed the injury in highlights or whatever. But asking fans to buy tickets weeks, months in advance, and they don't know who's playing these days, I do think you're asking a lot of your fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whenever anybody asks me if it's a team that only comes through once a year of, hey, should I go get tickets to watch X player? I'm always going to tell them, well, make sure they're not on a back-to-back and just see. And if you can afford it, wait until it gets closer and then get your ticket, a day or two out when you maybe have a better idea if that player is going to play. Well, one of the a good friend of mine, they wanted to see Victor Wembanyama and weren't sure if he would play when they played the Wizards in Washington. And I was like, you're going to have to look and see. And fortunately, it worked out that Wembanyama did play and they were able to go see him. But it is in a spot in the NBA where, you're putting a lot of work on the fans to start to do that. And when it gets really dangerous is if it starts to become the home fans that are like, hey, we're out. Like, we're not going to come because I don't really care. You told me you don't care. With tanking games and losing a bunch of games, and that's just a tough spot to kind of be in, and that's where you got to be really careful. And to Mark Cuban's point, I think that's where he's saying, so then you make the games cheap enough for people to go. You got to do other things, or maybe you do start doing some kind of refund for people. But I mean, we all know that's probably not going to be the way it goes. Nobody willingly gives back money in this day and age.
Your thoughts on the All-Star weekend?
Yeah, I thought the game, mini tournament, mini games, I thought those were pretty good. The championship one was what it was, but it wasn't for a lack of effort. It was one team made shots and one team didn't. But the three leading up to it were all really good. And the players, nobody is going to go all out on defense, and play 100 miles an hour on the defensive end of the floor. But I thought they played relatively hard. I thought they were actually, playing something that resembles the basketball we watch on a regular basis, which, and they were entertaining. So I thought that part was a win. All-Star Saturday, 3-point contest was good. It was cool to see Damian Lillard, out there and win. I thought that was a, fun twist to that event. The Shooting Stars that's just kind of a fill-in event. It's fine. It was kind of fun. And then, my main takeaway from the dunk contest was I'm really glad Jace Richardson didn't get hurt seriously, because that looked like it was potentially bad. But the dunk contest, I just don't know where we're going to go with this. The main stars don't want to take part in it because there's little to no upside for them. The worst thing that can happen is they do poorly and they embarrass themselves. So that they're just really not going to do it. And I don't know how much more we're going to see that is really new in this dunk contest. So I think they need to really rethink the entirety of the Saturday night part of it.
They've lost 9 straight. I don't think this is, hey, let's further the tanking, but the Mavericks and Kyrie Irving announcing while he's making his way back, he's going to shut it down and not make an attempt to come back this season.
Yeah, I think this one is partially maybe Kyrie's not quite ready to come back. We're not even to the full year mark for him, and the ACL tears have kind of become a full year injury at this point that we don't generally see guys back before we hit a year. And then I think the other part is everybody probably looked at the standings and said, hey, this is not what we want to do. We're not necessarily, chasing down a playing tournament spot this year. It's maybe it is partially tanking, but this is the last year that the Mavericks control their pick until 2031. So it is in their best interest to kind of, hey, let's just, play it out with the guys we have. We haven't had Kyrie all year. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm not overly surprised we're not going to see him. And then, now it'll turn into, all right, well, what is the team going to look like when he is back in the mix when we start next season?
Last week, you and I talked, I think it's a couple of weeks, about Charlotte. I think they're one of the most fun teams to watch in the NBA. But I'm going to ask you, of the two teams today that are surprises maybe in the play-in, which has been the better story? It's okay if you say Charlotte. But out west, isn't Portland also just an incredible story considering what happened to Chauncey Billups? And both teams, Charlotte and Portland, are in the play-in today.
Yeah, I think the other one I would include there is Phoenix.
Yeah.
Considering, after they traded Kevin Durant, there was a big question with Phoenix, where it's like, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. And it just shows, again, the lesson. This is not about talent collection. It's about finding players who fit, will work hard, and come together as a team. And the Suns have done that. But yeah, Portland, they were starting to play better at the second half of last season. I think it was they went 23-18 in the final 41 games, which is a pretty solid record, and that was what they were hoping to build on. But you're absolutely right. When you lose your head coach right there as the season's getting going, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, what are we doing here? And you're putting Thiago Splitter, who's never coached in the NBA before, installed as the head coach. I think he's done a really good job keeping that team together. They've gone through a ton of injuries, especially in the backcourt with Drew Holiday and Scoot Henderson missing time. Never mind Damian Lillard missing the entire year. And then other guys have been out, and they just kind of keep chugging along. So, yeah, really fun story there. And they're a team to watch in the second half, or the last third, really, is what we're down to see, can they make a real run at this? Can they get past the Warriors and maybe get into that 7-8 playing spot and then play themselves into the playoffs? And then Charlotte, you're spot on it. The question that I've been talking to a lot of people is, are they going to run down the Heat? Because the Heat just kind of seem to be playing out this season. And, there doesn't seem to be a lot of, urgency there. And, can Charlotte run them down past them? And then all of a sudden, they're in that mix to be a team that makes the playoffs. And I don't know that they put a scare in anybody, but I know both of those teams, what they have in common, the Hornets and the Trailblazers, they're young rosters, and they value getting those guys experience playing meaningful games and playing into the playoffs. They would love to kind of do that because they're looking and saying, all right, hey, the Pistons got in, they got knocked out in the first round, and now look at where they're at. Why can't we be the next team to make that jump?
Last one, Magic have 4 on the road starting tomorrow night, then 4 at home. Among the teams that they'll play includes Phoenix. They got the Clippers. They got the Lakers, part of this road trip. They get Houston and Detroit, part of the home teams. Thoughts on how these next 4 games may set the tone for the Magic for the remaining part of the season?
Yeah, I think it's important for the Magic if they are going to make noise about getting back into the top 6. And they're not. I know people are down, but they're not out of it. They're only 2 games behind Toronto for 5 in the loss column, so they can definitely get in there. But you do have to look behind. Maybe Miami, who sometimes does go on a run, gets there. Charlotte is coming on strong. Maybe they make a real push. Maybe Atlanta finally gets healthy and finds the right mix, and they make a push too. But for the Magic, you got to start stacking wins. It's hard to do when you're on the road. That's difficult to ask of a team, but you got to start taking advantage. And the big thing for them is let's get to, by the end of the year, they're 10-14 in road games. Let's try to get that near a 500 record by the end of the year. You take care of business at home, and they'll probably be a top 6 team. So that's going to be what the focus is here the rest of the way for them, because there's no reason why they can't pass Philly or pass Toronto, even put themselves in a more favorable matchup in the first round. And that's where the expectation should be. It should not be, all right, hey, let's just play it out. We'll get in through the play-in tournament. Because with the way they shoot the ball, you go against, let's say they play Charlotte in a 1-game scenario. Charlotte shoots it really well a lot of nights. And you could all of a sudden find yourself, wait a minute, now we're going home. We were expecting to be in the playoffs, and we're not even getting through because of the one game elimination nature of the play-in tournament.
On X or Twitter at Keith Smith NBA. Please go there. Follow Keith for NBA coverage. The links to all of his writings and videos and all the shows that he's involved in. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Chris, you do know where the Magic sit, right? You do know where they sit.
In terms of what, playoff?
I mean, the Magic are, they sit where?
What? Again, playoff standings?
What I'm getting at is someone sits atop the Southeast Division. Got a chance to hang a banner in that building. Are you kidding me? Huh? You kidding me? First place in the Southeast Division? We're almost at magic number time. I could give Chris $1 million. He couldn't name the teams in the Southeast Division right now.
Magic, Heat, Wizards, Hawks, Hornets.
Well, somebody owes $1 million. How about that?
Yeah. Don't insult
First
me like
place,
that.
Southeast
Don't
Division.
insult me like that.
In about 20 minutes, we're going to do the show within the show for those on the YouTube stream. You want to click on that if you're not there. We'll have a little fun during the break there and do a little Q&A and maybe some other things. But when we come back, all these NIL deals in football and basketball, when both sides admit that you can't hold them to anything, what's the point? We'll explain next.
Hey, what's up? This is Pat Lynch.
And I'm Taco Bob. You're not rocking out with WJRR.
Lock it in here with Marc Daniels and the beat of sports.
Big rival Utah. The only Big 12 campus haven't done a game at yet. That'll change on Saturday. Long time, Rob. We watch in college football and basketball deals, the players that signed and get out of the deals, go to court and all sorts of stuff. Plenty of cases recently. So it does lead to kind of a basic question. Does any of this stuff matter? Our next guest did a little bit of a deeper dive. Ben Portnoy writes for Sports Business Journal. He's kind of joined us. He's on X or Twitter at Portnoy15. Ben, welcome back. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
So a basic 30,000-foot question is, do any of these deals matter in writing? Is anything enforceable?
No, it's a good question. I think we're in, we're in a little bit of a transition time, right? We went from a world where college athletes can't be paid to one where they are being paid, but they're not totally like employees of the school or the team or whatever. It's not totally professionalized. And we're sort of in this middle ground. And so you've got these contracts that exist, mostly revenue sharing contracts with the schools that are being signed that are effectively marketing deals, right? Like school are, there's sort of two things. There's revenue sharing agreements and there's NIL agreements, and both are effectively marketing deals, and that athletes are signing over their name, image, and likeness to schools to then be used for marketing campaigns, matched with brands, things like that. What that has amounted to is a bunch of contracts that are not really employment contracts like you would think that people have in all sorts of forms or fashions, companies, whatever, media, whatever, to hopefully be applied as such. And I think that that's why you're seeing a lot of these issues popped up.
You write in your piece a little bit about what's in these deals, the language. There is no set contract. There is no set agreement. It varies school to school and conference to conference, correct?
It does. And, the Big Ten has a standardized sort of boilerplate revenue sharing agreement that it's passed along to all of its conference, members that they are using. And that has been helpful and instructive, I think. But there's been some increased conversation about whether that's something that other conferences should adopt. People have told, and the people that I've spoken with, the ACC was expected to talk about this last week, I guess a week and a half ago, during their conference meetings. That sort of gained some steam with the SEC as well. And then, one group that I think is really influential in a lot of these conversations is the general counsels. The general counsels from the four Power Four conferences who were, essentially at the heart of shaping the House settlement. They've had some conversations about essentially a standardized revenue share contract that would be, Power Four centric or sort of everyone used the same kind of template. Now that nothing's imminent or anything like that, but it is. I think there is a thought of, hey, if we are all operating under the same contract, that's probably a good thing and could probably help curb at least a few of the issues that we're seeing or create some kind of standardization.
So in your piece, you spoke to players, you spoke to attorneys, you spoke to ADs. And one of the things I took out of it is I don't know if they're all like, hey, I'm going to try to work in the gray area because that's what I need to do. It's almost like, it's not really enforceable, but I need something, but I got to protect myself. So you got different parties all with a similar agenda in some way. Am I taking that right?
Yeah, I think it's complicated, right? Like I think that, if you're athletes, if you're players right now, you've got as much freedom to basically do whatever you want. Like what's the benefit to standardization or a collective bargaining agreement or anything like that, right? Like players pretty much have free will to do whatever they want. Now it's, they probably got to go to a judge and get a ruling, but for the most part, effectively, they can kind of do what they want. It's really the coaches and the administrators who are having the issues and that they can't enforce any of the rules. Now, is this free movement and all of this and lack of rules and all of that, is a total decentralization good? I think probably not. Like certainly there's some merits to why it should be, athletes should be able to do what they want to do. But at the same time, I think, certainly like anything, like you need rules in place to run anything. But I think that it creates a vacuum where, you've got two sides that are pretty much on, polar opposite sort of benefits of this thing. And it creates sort of a tricky situation, I would say.
You focused on two Miami cases. Let me work backwards. Darian Mensah made a little bit of headlines when he said, I'm coming back. I'm going to go back to Duke. I signed a 2-year deal. It's going to be exciting. And then as the portal's about to close, next thing you know, I'm going to go to Miami. It's going to be good for my development. He takes his best wide receiver. And while the Canes were not involved in any of the legal stuff with Duke, clearly there was some form of communication there. What did you take away after talking to people? I know you spoke to Dan Radakovich, the AD at Miami, about the Mensa case, where he had a signed deal, and as you just said, and we talked, doesn't mean anything. We'll just settle, then we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, that's effectively what you're seeing now, right? Like, it's sort of like everyone's tampering effectively. These contracts, if all that is standing in the way is a buyout, like there's schools that are willing to shell out the whatever, make up a number, $2, $4, $5, $10 million to say, cool, we're going to upgrade. We need this guy. And I think that's sort of what you saw with the Mensa case, right? Like Miami said, essentially, hey, we need a quarterback. This guy's pretty good. We think we can get him, and here's what it's going to cost, and we're just going to do that. And, again, is that right or wrong? I don't know. It depends on the angle, the side of the table you're sitting on. But I think that, it's kind of the way of the world right now, essentially.
The Xavier Lucas deal to me was interesting. And some fans, if you're not Miami, may remember the guy that was at Wisconsin, had to deal with them. He proved to me you don't need the portal. Withdraw from school. And I think people forgot about that case, which makes the portal to some degree irrelevant. You could withdraw from school and be accepted as a student someplace else. We may laugh about the academic side of it, but that's what Lucas did, right?
Yeah, essentially. So, his is a little bit different in that, so the House settlement that kind of spelled out all of these things went into effect July 1st of 2025. Lucas had essentially signed a revenue sharing agreement with Wisconsin that was contingent on the House settlement passing and that would go into effect basically July 1st. So he had essentially sort of pre-signed a deal, if that makes sense. That deal, whether it was enforceable or not, you're seeing a lawsuit that continues to play out between Wisconsin and Miami talking about these things. And I think the next hearing is scheduled for March. But, as part of this, Wisconsin said, hey, cool, we're not going to enroll you or put you in the transfer portal. Well, Lucas basically just subsequently withdrew from school and enrolled at Miami and didn't have to enter the portal with basically sort of a backwards way of getting from one school to another, and enrolled as a student. And, on some level, like, there's nothing anyone can really do about that, right? If he wants to enroll somewhere else, like, he's free to do that in theory. And so, yeah, you're right. Like, it sort of proved the portal itself is moot. I was talking to someone recently, and they made the point of, hey, if you think there may not be a spring transfer portal window, quote unquote, but if you think there's not going to be spring transfers, you'd be hard pressed to believe that. So I think there's something to that.
Ben, do all these people want rules? Because I'm not sure sometimes. I mean, it sounds good when you have a microphone in front. Yeah, we need guardrails and all this stuff, but I don't know. I'm not picking on him, but Dan Radakovich at Miami, where life is good right now and he's got cash, does he really want a system that could limit what they spend and how they cut deals?
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think that, the fundamental problem with college athletics right now, and forever really, is that the answer has, the solution has been, okay, we need rules, we need whatever. But the first thing that we as schools are going to do is rush to figure out how to get around those rules. It's not, okay, we want rules because we want everyone to follow them. It's how do we get out of them, essentially. And you're seeing that now, right? Like, the College Sports Commission was set up to essentially vet NIL deals, and schools are immediately jumping to, okay, well, if we have a $20 million cap, how do we make it $40 million by getting around this? And it's sort of this race to the bottom. And so I think that there's a lot of schools that are certainly incentivized to try and, get around these rules. And there's schools that are incentivized to follow them. And so I think there's such a wide range of self-interest in college athletics right now that, to use Miami as an example, right? Like, if you're Miami, there's no reason you want guardrails. You can do whatever you want. You've got the money, et cetera. Like, you can kind of operate however you need. If you're whatever, a lower level ACC or SEC or whatever school, yeah, you probably want there to be some guardrails so at least what the high end of things are and where can you kind of find your place in that world. So I think it creates it creates a pretty staunch divide, and it definitely creates a lot of problems. And you're seeing that play out in real time.
Last one. It's a crystal ball question. 3-5 years from now, do you think we have a system, or do you think we're still kind of living in a chaotic world?
I think 3 years from now, we're probably in a similar place. 5 years from now, it might be different depending on what happens with high major college football and whether we're still playing it as it exists now.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Ben Portnoy's with Sports Business Journal. He's on X or Twitter at bportnoy15. Good catching up, Ben. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I mean, like we're talking yesterday, Chris played the clip of Mike Elko, get a commissioner. It's the same thing. And I'm just using Dan Radakovich at Miami as an example. Life's good because the Canes are near the mountain in college football. So the booster money, and it's really like one major family at Miami, has more money to invest because life's good. They don't want you to limit what you can pay, or they don't want you to tell them, well, this is how the system needs to be. So why would they be in support of anything?
So at what point will it take for everyone to get on board with a unified spending amount? And, this is the hard cap, can't spend more than this. Like, what's it going to take to get rules in place?
If two things happen that I don't think are possible to happen, good setup.
Yeah.
Government intervention and television or media people, which includes networks and streaming, say no more money. Fix this. We're not paying. Neither one will happen.
No. I think you're more likely to get government involvement than the TV side,
which I don't believe is possible either to happen. And it's just, listen, you don't have to be a person that likes to go back and watch Western movies, but there was a group that had a lot of fun. The law, I'm the law. The sheriff will shoot the sheriff. We'll take over the town. They weren't like, hey, put the gun down. Let's do what's good for the community, okay? Let's not rob the bank. Let's not take over the saloon. Let's do what's good for everybody. I mean, when people say Wild West, that's it. Billy the Kid's group had fun until they all got shot. And it wasn't fun anymore. Not fun when somebody gets shot, is it? Yeah.
It's frustrating because, again, I do think that players have way too much control. They dictate, not just in football, but in basketball, when they want to play, they dictate how much they're going to make. And if that's not enough, I'm going to go somewhere else.
But Chris, I think you put too much blame on players. And I don't think you give responsibility to another group that's just as involved. And it's the obsessed school that doesn't care how much they have to spend because winning is the most intoxicating thing in their life. They're just as guilty. They'll pay for anything. They don't care about the rules. They'll sign players to whatever. They'll worry about the consequences. I mean, they're just as guilty as the players that you think are to blame when it comes to power. Could I not argue that the large brands of college football are as to blame because they simply have no interest in working with the others?
You can make that argument.
I think I just did.
You did. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but there needs to be something to get everything under control.
And look, I asked Ben the question about, crystal ball 3 years and 5 years. I will say this. It happens in every industry. Change or a new industry emerges, and it has to figure itself out. The economy of the industry has to figure itself out. The guidelines, the guardrails, the oversight has to figure it out. This may be a bad example, but I'll give it to you. Cryptocurrency from where it was 5 years ago to today has significantly changed. Forget 10, 15 years ago when a Bitcoin was worth almost nothing. It's changed. Is it better? No, it's still incredibly suspicious in so many ways. But oversight, regulations do take time. It doesn't happen as quick as some people want it. And until it happens, others will take advantage of the system, just like rug pulls happen every day in crypto. Is it good? No, but it takes time. It's happened so quickly in college sports that when people say, well, fix it, it's not as simple as it is. And as long as you have the unregulated, people will take advantage of it in every single industry. The sports gambling in this country is in its infancy. It's infancy of eventually settling on what the business model is. I mean, the court makes a ruling, and all of a sudden, daily fantasy companies become the largest sports books in this country. That's not what they came into existence for. They gambled to start, and that the ruling came. Then they thought, hey, look what we got, until somebody came along and said, now prediction markets. Like, darn it. Now what he would, and it evolves. In 20 years in this country, the sports gambling industry is going to look significantly different. Some of it's going to be the same, but the overall industry and how it is regulated, it just takes time. We're watching college football and basketball change so fast that we can't keep up with it.
But whatever happened to being proactive instead of reactive? Why were there not rules already set in place? Because you knew you were going to play. You knew you were going to pay college players.
Chris, the same.
Why were there not rules in place?
Chris, the same thing applies to every industry I just gave you, in sports gambling, in cryptocurrency, in the emerging markets of blank, whatever you want to fill in the blank with. Heck, e-retail took years. People figured out what you can do, what you can't do, how to buy, security online, all sorts of things. Change happens quickly. It takes a long time to catch up for those to operate and say, this is a better way to do it. We're just watching rapid change in college football and basketball.
So
it'll get there. May not be in my lifetime, although I plan on living another 186 years.
So then it, again, just doesn't it make sense to have rules, guidelines, regulations, whatever in place, whether it takes a few years or not?
Chris, you're asking for common sense to exist when at the moment a majority of people don't want common sense. It's like asking the bank robber in the Wild West to go, hey, it's other people's money. He didn't care. It was a chance to take advantage of a system until what? I mean, it sounds stupid, until the banking system realized we got to be better at security. We can't let the guy put something over his face and rob us every day. So we hired people with guns to stand and watch. It took years. And all of a sudden, you're like, okay, now we figured it out. And bank robberies dropped. I mean, it sounds stupid, but that's how industries emerge. 11 o'clock hour coming up. Are we going to do something on the stream?
Yep.
All right. If you're on the YouTube stream, or go there, we'll do the show within the show. Hop on, ask us whatever questions you want. Stupid, silly, serious. Tell us we stink, whatever. Go to YouTube and look up 96 on the Game Orlando. Click on the 96 on the Game icon and then the live button. It'll catch us there. And we'll do all that more in the 11 o'clock hour coming up.
I think we're on.
Are we on?
We're on.
Okay.
It makes no sense to me. Again, you knew you were going to pay players.
Okay. Yeah. No, I understand. But here, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
10 years ago.
By the way, join in on YouTube. Or
10
Twitter.
years ago, 20 years ago, how many places like Bowegan's existed? How many local breweries were in business 20 years ago?
Top of my head, I couldn't tell you. Not as many as there are now.
Okay. And then a few started popping up.
Mm-hmm.
Did the industry figure itself out? Because initially, the largest brand said, you can't compete with us. And then what led to change? The industry began to figure itself out. People like Bobby began to realize, I can carve out a niche. I can do this in a way. I can attract an audience. And the industry emerged. And then, by the way, it got flooded. Everybody was opening up. And people realized, nope, doesn't work. It takes a while to figure itself out. And over the last 20 years, what's happened in that industry? It's significantly changed.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing's going to happen here. Now, I'm not convinced of a breakaway of the two conferences and all that stuff. But in 20 years, people will look back and go, that's what you guys did? Just like in every other sport. 20 years, someone's going to go, why were fat old guys holding up first down chains in an NFL game?
But again, tell me that it makes sense that we're going to pay players. No guidelines, just you pay players. That's it. What did you expect to happen?
But it happens all the time in all sorts of. Look, you can argue the NCAA made a mistake decades ago by not planning for a day like this. I would agree with that argument, but it happened. I mean, that's what happened.
And it's going to take how long to get the genie back in the bottle?
The genie's never going back in the bottle. The question is, how do you get the genie to stop and go, okay, instead of granting wishes to a few, I'm not going to grant wishes to all because I need a better system, and that's what's going to happen. Yeah. By the way, here's my bottle today, again, so you can see.
Oh yeah, they're asking about the Jack Daniels.
It's not Jack Daniels. It's iced tea water drops is what it is, for crying out loud.
Someone wants to know, has a college pitcher ever hit 4 batters in an inning before last night?
You guys mocking UCF for the loss? I don't know. It probably. I think I've done games where someone's done that, but it's a bad loss, man. The bullpen blew 3 leads at Miami last night. Just brutal. Walk off, home run to tie the game in extra innings. Then Miami with a walk off home run to win it. It's a brutal night. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, we were talking goobers and Raisinets yesterday.
Yeah.
Somebody last night at the UCF game in his wife's purse snuck in Raisinets just to show me. Said, hey, bring Mark a box of Raisinets. They might be watching, listening right now. It's crazy talking about goobers and Raisinets yesterday. Yeah.
That's never in my life would I ever think to order goobers or Raisinets at the movie theaters or buy
you're
them at the
young.
grocery store.
Because you're young. You won't do that. But here, when's the last time, not at a convenience store, at a grocery store, that you bought a candy bar?
I buy candy kind of regularly.
But I shouldn't say not at the checkout.
No, like I will go down the candy aisle, like big bag of gummy bears.
Yeah.
I
You
love
bring
this.
that into your bed? Does your wife feel about the wrapping on that?
I have no
My
self-control.
wife gave me the look last night. I got home after the UCF game, a little bit hungry. I treated myself to a small little snack. There's these small little pretzel twist things that I like.
Pretzels in bed.
No, not in bed. I don't eat in bed. So I'm on the couch, right? And I put my hand in to take out one, and the third one, I got the look. Just the eye, and then I poured it on a napkin because I got that look. You have to say anything, just a look. I'm like, oh, okay, I got it.
No, my wife will yell at me if I eat too many gummy bears. Because if it's a big bag,
How many? Wait. How many gummy bears? Like, do you put 20 gummy bears in your mouth at once?
like 5, 6.
You put 20, don't you?
No, not
Yeah,
quite.
you do.
Not
Yeah, you
quite.
do. You don't
Not-
want to admit it.
not
Now, I
quite.
caught you.
No, not quite.
Like a big
No,
scoop.
no, it's not my sunflower seeds. But I will grab a scoop and just kind of.
Oh, wait. And then do one at a time?
Well, I mean, I'll put like 3, 4, 5 in.
Oh, so you're not taking and doing the whole thing?
No.
Okay.
No, not an animal.
You did it with sunflower seeds.
Well, yeah, because that's
You put like
what they're meant
100
for.
sunflower seeds at a
Yeah,
time?
they're small.
What do you mean they're meant for?
You don't just pop one.
I do. I do.
No, you put like
How do-
30 or 40 in.
Okay, for the 2 of you watching, who eats sunflowers? Well, both is acceptable. Like, I've seen people do what you do, but I'm a one seed at a time guy.
God, you never get through the bag.
I don't want to get through the bag. The salt will kill you.
All right, we got to go. We will pick this sunflower seed discussion back up, though.
Let's really do the news.
Yes.
Now it is time to do the news.
But now it's time for the news.
Man, if you missed the show within the show on YouTube, that just got crazy. 11 o'clock hour, WYGM Orlando, WJRHD, Cocoa Beach. Woo! Man. Breaking NFL news. Patrick Mahomes
Yeah.
restructures his contract this week. Over the cap reporting that it converts $54.45 million of Mahomes' 2026 salary into a signing bonus and lowers the starting quarterback cap number to $34.65 million.
Saves him like what, 44 million?
Yeah, I'm not going to do the deep dive because it's confusing. I said this many years ago before you came back and working on the show that, speaking of evolving systems, okay, the NFL goes out of its way to create loopholes on so many things like this that at some point it is comical. It is comical because the contract isn't really a contract.
Yeah, but the Chiefs will still have to pay back end.
Yes, yeah, but there's so many loopholes to find your way out of stuff. I mean, the Dolphins can't easily get out of Tua, but you can say, hey, you know what? We'll convert it to this. We'll spread it out. And suddenly guy's making 60. What's he making? 40,000. That's a bad example, but I mean, Chiefs had to do it, free up some space, and Mahomes has to agree to it, and he does get the money in the back end. I get it. Yeah.
But again, that's what the Eagles are at right now, and they're gonna be screwed. Like, they got their 2 Super Bowl appearances, they got the 1 ring, but eventually they're gonna be screwed for a while.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. College basketball last night. All 4 teams in the state winners. The Gators ranked 12th, beat South Carolina 76-62. UCF got a much needed win, beat TCU 82-71. FSU's played better basketball last month of the season. They beat BC 80-72, and the Hurricanes continue to be red hot. Now 10-3 in the ACC. They beat Virginia Tech 67-66. Magic get back in action tomorrow when they open up the backside of the schedule, begin a 4-game road trip. They're out in Sacramento against the Kings. Tiger, yesterday at the Genesis Invitational press conference, which he's the host for the event at Riviera, said he's working to try to get back to playing either on the PGA Tour or the Champions Tour. And when asked about the Masters, if it was being ruled out, he said no. Will he play? We shall see. I mentioned this on the bridge, a local high school football story. Caleb Walls, the 27-year-old son of former Orlando Predator Herky Walls, is the name of the head coach at Dr. Phillips, which makes me feel really old. Really, really old. Good for him, replacing Rodney Wells, who'd been the longtime coach at Dr. Phillips. I didn't ask you about this. Can I play something for you?
Yes.
And you can chime in. But this was a clip that played on the bridge earlier today. And it's UCLA coach Mick Cronin after his team got blown out to Michigan State. And Tom Izzo had asked Michigan State fans to be kind to Xavier Brooks, who played at Michigan State, now UCLA. And Izzo commented that, hey, I was proud of the student section, the way they handled it, and so forth. Mick Cronin asked afterwards by a reporter of how the crowd reacted.
What was your thoughts in the student section chanting Booker's name?
I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section.
I just meant the overall the way that you.
I would like to give you a kudos for the worst question I've ever been asked.
Did you like
You should take it.
the preparation of
Do you really think I care about the other?
No, I don't.
team's
I don't
student
think you care about the
section?
other.
Are you raising your voice at me?
No, I'm.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Mick, put down the Red Bull, ease up on the Starbucks, take the blowout loss, get on the flight, go back home, then the next press conference complain about the Big 10 travel schedule, and just move on.
Like, who do you think you are? Are you raising your voice at me? Like, talking to him like he's a 10-year-old child?
Well, I told you, and there may come a day that UCF plays UCLA and whatever. I saw Mick Cronin when he was basketball coach at Cincinnati. I don't question Mick Cronin's a pretty good basketball coach. I don't question that. He's also an ass. He is. You don't have to treat people this way. You can do the act. You can do the tough guy thing. You can yell at your players. You can pull a guy like he did last night. You can throw him out, and it's all cool. But he was the one that came back at the reporter
Do you
here.
really think I care about the other?
No, I
team's
don't.
student
I don't
section?
think you care about the other.
Are you raising your voice at me?
No, I'm.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Come on, dude.
As someone that's not 5'10" myself, I wish the guy said, Mick, do you want me to drag you outside and beat you up?
Like, again, who do you think you are?
That is the classic, I'm a bully, and in my position, I get to talk to you. Do you think the question was out of line?
No.
He could have handled it and said, hey, I just want to focus on my basketball team, and that's all I care about. That's fine. And by the way, the reporter didn't try to re-ask it. He stopped to address the reporter again. And, yeah.
It just, you raising your voice at me? Like, no, Dad.
One more
Sorry.
time.
the preparation of the
Do you really think
Again, this is when he stops and asks him.
I care about the other?
No, I
team's
don't.
student
I don't
section?
think you care about the other.
Are you raising your voice at me?
No, I'm.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Come on, dude.
No reason.
Come on, dude. Yes, you are. Everybody's standing.
Yeah.
You're grounded. Go to your room.
I mean, come on, man. That's what's happening in the news. Magic basketball back at tomorrow night. They'll play out at Sacramento to begin a 4-game West Coast road trip. About 25 minutes from now, I'm going to ask you a question, Chris. It's about players that go through a career that don't live up to the hype, and you kind of wonder if they did, what they'd be remembered for. I'm going to get to that in a story in about 25 minutes, but Scott Harris is in for Monthly Movie Wednesday next. This is insane. A 3-camera shoot for this? If you're watching on Twitter or YouTube right now?
I just want the audience to know I wanted a 4th camera. There's another camera in front of me. And I would like this to be rectified the next time I'm on.
I don't even know in the what do we work together? 13 years?
Yes.
Have you ever been on camera?
Yeah. The last Beat of Sports overtime that I was a part of, you made me.
Yeah, one time. But I mean, 3-camera shoot in Scott Harris is the
Wow.
What's up? What's going on?
For the one of you watching on the stream right now, this has to be like an unbelievable
Give
moment.
us some credit.
I'm not watching. Just so everyone knows, I am not watching on the video
He
stream.
doesn't like to see himself, is what he does. Yeah.
Should I make him the big screen?
Yeah,
I'll make Scott the
take
big
me
screen.
out. Yeah, switch him out.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah. And you're on the scroll too.
Yeah, I gave his own scroll.
Wow.
Look at that. So I'm a decent producer now. I don't suck anymore.
What's going on? What's new?
For the two of you watching on the stream now.
You invited me on.
Yeah.
What's up? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Oh, are we talking movies?
Seriously, Chris. Scott looks 16 years old. Have you ever met someone, and I think you may know the age range Scott is, that could pass for a 15 or 16-year-old like that? Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, let me ask this though. What's more of an insult? What you just said to me or what somebody thought Chris looked like?
No, the person thought Chris was very
That's what I
overweight
mean.
and had massive health problems.
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
take it as a comment. All right, what do you got today? Movie Wednesday.
As always, Movie Wednesday brought to you by go to the movies and watchthem.com. Again, go to the movies and watchthem.com.
called that.
Chris, I would like that to be on the scroll
There's
next month when I'm on the show. Go to the movies and watchthem.com.
But it's going to be a new sponsor next week.
This is
Or
the same
next time.
sponsor we had last month as well.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, it is. It was trampolines-go-com for December. All right, so I'm sure you watched this, but last month or like 2 or 3 weeks ago on Disney Plus, they released a new Muppet Show special with Sabrina Carpenter.
You're sure I watched?
Well, I know you're I know that you are actually a big Muppets fan. You love the Muppets. And you loved the show.
At one time, sure.
You loved the Muppet Show, the original The Muppet Show.
Sure.
So this was hearkening back to that. And it led to a bunch of people going on social media. Hey, if you could remake any movie with all Muppets and one human character, what would you do? So I came up with a list of movies that I think this fits. But I did movies that I know you have seen. So
Okay.
I'm going to pitch
So
you
where the actors become Muppets?
where all of the actors are Muppets except one. There's one. Everyone always says doing Knives Out, where everyone is a Muppet except Daniel Craig.
Everyone says that.
Well, it's the
That's a
popular
circle
one.
that I roll in, Chris.
It's the popular response to this question.
Okay.
But I came up with a list of movies I know you have seen. So I'm going to pitch you on this.
Okay.
1966 Batman the movie.
Yeah.
Adam West is the only human character in the movie. Everyone else is being portrayed by a Muppet. You'd watch that, right?
Yeah.
Of course you would.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Like, I'm assuming Kermit would probably be Robin.
Well, Kermit kind of, I mean, he'd be, yeah, I guess, or the Joker.
Why I thought Gonzo
Or
would
the
be
Riddler, actually. The Riddler.
I thought Gonzo would be the Joker.
I'm actually going to play the game with him right now.
Fozzie would be the Riddler. Miss Piggy would be Catwoman.
Big Bird's not a Muppet.
No, that's Sesame Street.
Can he just walk in at any time, though?
He does. In the Muppets movie, he does. He walks in.
Okay.
All right. The Godfather.
Oh, come on. No.
But
Yeah.
Marlon Brando is the only human character. So he's interacting with a bunch of Muppets.
Luca Brasi's a Muppet?
Yes!
Now you're losing me.
All right. Big Trouble in Little China.
Good movie.
Kurt Russell is the only human
He's
character.
the only human character. Yeah. Good movie.
Austin Powers. Mike Myers as Austin is the only human character. Everyone else. So Dr. Evil, Muppet.
Muppet. Okay.
You'd watch that.
Is there a Muppet franchise movie coming back? Are we doing this again or no?
Well, not there.
Don't say everyone's talking about it because I don't run in that circle.
Well, they did this one-off special that got very good responses with Sabrina Carpenter as host, and Seth Rogen is producer behind it. He has a lot of clout in Hollywood these days, so there's hope that it will lead to more Muppets.
Joe Rogan, producer of the Muppets?
No.
Oh, Seth Rogen.
Okay, two more.
Yeah.
The Great Escape.
I like that movie.
Steve McQueen is the only human character.
Okay. What's the other one?
Toy Story.
Toy Story?
Yeah.
I don't
Going
like
next
that.
level with this.
I don't like that.
Why not?
Because I like the characters in Toy Story. I don't want to start messing with them.
No, but it's just like Woody would be the only reoccurring character. Everyone else is portrayed.
Who's Buzz Lightyear?
Kermit. Let's be honest, it'd be Kermit.
I don't know if I like that, Chris. Your thoughts?
No.
Yeah. You had me on some others. I don't like the change in Toy Story. Which, by the way, what are we at? 5 coming out?
Toy Story 5 comes out later this year. We'll probably make $2 billion.
Okay.
I'm excited for it. It's a movie that I'm very much excited for.
Okay.
28 years later, 28 years later, the Bone Temple just dropped on digital. Have you?
By what?
28 years later, the Bone Temple just dropped on digital. Have you purchased a copy of it yet?
No.
Why not?
A lot of reasons.
You should check it out. It's really good.
Can I watch on the flight Friday?
Yes, I highly recommend that you do that. Download 28 years later on Netflix onto your phone, and then also download this.
I want to be that guy, Chris. The 5-hour flight is watching the horror film in the row in front. It's like the guy that watched The Exorcist that one time at 8 a.m. on the flight to Cincinnati.
How come every time I text you about a movie I'm watching, your response is always, please seek help?
Because, although I think if I can find this here, my last flight, I think I sent you what my screen was, and I said, should I click on it?
Oh, it was The Conjuring. It was one of the Conjuring. I think it was Conjuring last.
Hey, Conjuring. Scott's like, yeah, click play. Click
you
play.
should. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I told you last night that I'm starting my rewatch of all the Scream movies, and you sounded concerned for me.
Yeah, why?
Well, there's a new Scream movie coming out this month.
So you're going back?
Well, I
okay. When did the franchise pivot to a comedy?
Never. No, it was always a metatextual.
A what?
Metatextual response to what was going on at horror movies at the time.
What was the parody movie that made fun of Scream and
Scary Movie?
Scary Movie.
Oh, that's right.
And you know what I did? I just watched all of the Scary Movies last week. All 5 of them. Because there's a new Scary Movie 6 coming out this year.
How many movies have you watched now? Scott has that app that keeps the count of
Letterboxd?
how many movies he's watched.
I'm up to 164.
Does it break it down by category?
I have 164 movies logged in 2026. I'm averaging 82 a month, which averages to 23 per week. If anyone is wondering how my mental state is going, not well.
Yeah, and has a full-time job.
And I have a full-time job.
I don't think I've watched 160 plus movies in 5 years.
Well, here's the thing. I recently have watched all of these, well, all except one theatrical Disney movie. So 63 of my movies are animated. There's the last one is Zootopia 2.
There's got to be some condition for that. Has to be something.
Well, last year, you know me, I want to watch like a series of things. Last year, I opened the year watching all of the James Bond movies.
Okay.
All 25 of them. All right. You want to play the game that we played last month that you did not do very well at all?
Sure. What's the game?
You have contended that 1984 is the best movie year ever.
Okay.
You didn't prepare for this, did you?
You did say you were going to be better.
You did. Yeah, you did say you were going to be better.
All right, go ahead.
So this is an homage to the Blank Check with Griffin and David podcast. They play the box office game. I'm going to read off. I'm going to give you clues to the top 5. This is for April 27th, 1984.
Okay.
All right. Number 1 movie has already been out a week. It is a comedy film, first in a series. Spawned many sequels.
In 84.
In 84.
Is this the first one?
This is the first one.
80.
Starring big guy in the 80s. A lot. This is
Police Academy.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Second one, and its second week of release. Romantic comedy adventure film. I know you've seen
the Stone.
Yes.
Daddy came to play today.
All right. Third one. It's an adventure film retelling of a famous book story. Has been redone many times. Redone in the 90s as a Disney animated movie.
Disney animated.
Yes.
Ooh. I'm stuck. What?
Doesn't lives in the jungle.
Lives in the jungle.
Yeah.
In the 80s?
Yeah, this movie was made, it was an 80s movie, but it's been done so many times. And I'll say, if you want to portray this lead character, you got to be in good shape.
Okay, I think I know what it is.
What is it?
Tarzan.
Yes.
Oh, what Tarzan was it?
Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes.
I would have gone a long time.
That's the
before I
full
did that.
title.
Yeah.
All right. Fourth movie. This is the fourth in a franchise. You've not seen, I think, any of these movies. Horror movie franchise.
That narrows it. Wait. Is it still around today?
Has
Oh,
not.
wait. Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to guess which part?
2?
4.
4.
The final chapter.
Oh, the final chapter.
Yes. I think there's been 9 more since then.
Okay.
All right, last one. Number 5. Romantic comedy, fantasy, starring one of the most beloved actors of all time.
The lead guy in Porky's?
No.
Oh. Give me something else here. Come on.
Written by Gans and Babalu Mandel, if that helps.
But the lead character, big star?
Lead actor is a massive star.
84.
84, massive star. Got his start. He got his start on television. This is kind of when he's
Splash.
Yes.
Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Yeah. Not bad.
Nope.
Not bad.
No, pretty good. I'm kind of impressed.
Can I give you my list this week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Since it was President's Day on Monday, top 10 Daniels movies involving presidents.
Okay.
Now remember, these are only movies that I know and see and do no research on.
Yes, of course.
Okay, just off the top of my head. Okay. Number 10, 13 Days.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Thank you.
Bad accents, but good movie.
Number 9, Lincoln.
Yeah, good accents.
Yeah. Number 8, Primary Colors.
Okay.
Number, did I do a 7? Oh, Dave, the comedy Dave.
Yeah. I got some questions about that one.
Number 6, Nixon.
Yeah.
Number 5, tell me if you count this, Dr. Strangelove.
Oh, absolutely. I actually just watched that movie this weekend. Rewatched it.
Number 4, American President. Number 3, All the President's Men.
I mean, he's not that big of a character in it, but yeah.
You'll count it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do I have number 2? Wait. Wait. No, that was 2. 3, I'm sorry, 3 Frost Nixon.
Okay.
2 All the President's Men, JFK number 1.
You're really omitting one on there.
Well.
Big omission.
What?
Escape from New York. Donald Pleasance playing the President of the United States of America with a British accent.
Would you consider White House Down?
Yeah, first off, I hated that movie, Scott. No, two-thirds I liked. The last third I hated.
Escape from New York or L.A.?
Escape from New York.
What?
Oh, no. I'm thinking of the other Netflix film that we were talking about recently.
No, I'm talking about the John Carpenter movie with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Where they turn New York, Manhattan into a maximum security prison.
Again, I'm just kind of winging it here. Is that it?
No, White House Down. No.
What'd you say?
He wanted to include a White House Down.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
What next? Wait. Independence Day?
I mean, he makes a great speech in that movie.
It involves the president, does it not?
You know what? In some defense of Chris, if I'm going to count JFK and All the President's Men, I guess there's a presidential role in that.
Thank you.
Okay. I mean, there's a presidential role in a lot of movies.
There's a lot of movies I left out. I just say when I do a top 10, it's off the top of my head here.
Hey, Dan Lewis, don't take it so seriously.
Whoa, I don't call him Dan.
I don't know
sure
if
you're allowed to call
Dan.
him that. All right.
Do you call him like Daniel Day, Daniel, Mr. Lewis?
I think you call him by his screen name. He's always in character.
Oh, you call him President Lincoln?
He's always in character.
You call him Prez?
Is he got anything else? Because he did the movie with his kid, right?
He did a movie with his kid. And he said he's not retired. He's like, I don't know why everyone thought that. It's like, because you said you were retiring.
Yeah. But did you know that, Chris? Whenever Daniel Day-Lewis does a movie, he's in character all the time. Even like if you're done shooting for the day and you see him around the set or out to dinner, he's always in character.
Which is why everyone wants him to do like a horror movie to see if he would still keep up the shtick.
I can appreciate that, though.
You can?
Yeah.
How come
Yeah.
you don't go method when you produce the show?
Mick Cronin does, and he's the coach at UCLA. More of the Beat of Sports next.
Hey there, it's Chad and Leslie from Magic 1077. And if you want real sports updates, keep it here on the Beat of Sports.
Chad, I give real sports updates.
No, you don't, Leslie. Nobody likes your sports updates. You don't even know your sports updates.
So the World Baseball Classic is around the corner, and last time at the World Baseball Classic, we have the incredible showdown of Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, one-time teammates, and the amazing moment for that at bat. We're not going to get that. Ohtani's not pitching in the World Baseball Classic, and Mike Trout won't be there. Mike Trout is not going to be there, not because he doesn't want to play, but he could not secure insurance that would cover his $35 million salary this year from the Angels. And Trout, who's 34 years old, just said, hey, here's why I can't play. And Chris, I was talking yesterday, you and I were talking, and we had a lot of stuff yesterday, didn't get to it. Trout's going to be 34 during this season. And Mike Trout's played 15 years of Major League Baseball. And if you're like me, baseball fan, when Mike Trout breaks into Major League Baseball, he plays briefly in 2011 at the age of 19. And it's a stretch of years, about a 5-year stretch, that Mike Trout is the best player in Major League Baseball. You throw in Bryce Harper, be part of the argument and so forth, but Trout is putting up insane numbers. He wins 3 MVPs. He's a Rookie of the Year. He goes, by the way, second MVP, wins, second, wins, fourth, second, wins. A pretty good stretch that you perceive as among the best players in Major League Baseball.
He's good.
But injuries take Mike Trout's career and turn it from what many believe was going to be one of the greatest players that we saw in baseball. And injuries derail the story of what could have been. And part of the theory about Trout was, hey, he played West Coast, so people in the East didn't get to see a majority of his games. And the whole thing about, would he ever come east from that area in the New Jersey, Philly area, would ever come over, and from Vineland, New Jersey, would ever come over and play, and who knows what that would have meant. Mike Trout is defined to you, younger than me, as what in his career?
And this is where I kind of don't know how to rank him or describe who he is, because he's been a great player, and baseball is a team game, but he's never won a playoff series. And that
correct.
That's a lot. He's been in the league and he's been so dominant, and him and Shohei Ohtani on the same team never won a playoff series. That's hard to do.
In the last 6 seasons, 53, 36, 119, 82, 29, and 130 are games played for Mike Trout. During the stretch that I was talking about of him dominating, 139, 157, 157, 159, 159, he just played. And I think Mike Trout could have been one of the great players.
Yeah.
He has 404 home runs. Again, maybe baseball will put him in. I would not view Mike Trout as a Hall of Famer because he's going to fall short of a lot of numbers. And to me, he joins the list, and you can do this all day, and it's kind of a topic that's easy to have people guess and put up names. But I believe if he never got hurt, the greatest athlete that I ever saw was Bo Jackson. If Bo Jackson doesn't get hurt, I don't know if Bo would have lasted a decade playing both sports. I just don't know. But I remember Bo Jackson in his prime, and I feel like we lost something that we just didn't see. We're marveling at Ohtani now for what he's doing as a pitcher and a hitter. But Bo Jackson doing what he did, I think, would have been the greatest athlete that I ever saw. And again, you could put a whole bunch of names in this, but, to bring it local, I believe, one, if the big guy never left, the Magic would have won multiple championships, and Shaq and Penny would have been one of the great combos in the last 50 years in the NBA. And I believe Penny's injuries took away somebody that could have been one of the all-time greats. Grant Hill got off the plane in crutches for crying out
I was
loud.
gonna say, going even before that, T-Mac and Grant Hill, what they could have been together, and we just never really got to see that.
Yeah, and you can do that. Look, the other guy that I think, even though the numbers made him a Hall of Famer, Junior lost some years because of injuries down the stretch. That if he didn't have those injuries and the body just wore down, but he had some injuries that cost him some years, Ken Griffey Jr.'s numbers probably are, top 3, top 4 all time. And again, you can go on and do this all day. Trout just, I think, is one of the best examples in baseball, recently. Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose could have been a really, really, really elite special player for many, many years, but the injuries took that backside of the career away. Not backside, prime years.
Moving over to the NFL. What about Andrew Luck? One of the best prospects.
Here's the thing about Luck, though. Isn't it more he and his body?
Yeah.
He called it quits before the body completely broke down. The body began to break down.
But it was because of the body breaking down and him not wanting to, live a crippled life after the game of football that cost him probably at least another 10 years in the NFL. RG3.
Well, that was a serious injury. The guy that, and he's talked about it, although he didn't talk about it initially, that took his mastering of a position away from us, it's Barry Sanders. I mean, only he knows the losing and what it did to him. And at some point, his body said, I'm done. But how much was left in that tank that you're like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Don't leave now.
I don't know if it was because of injuries, but did Calvin Johnson?
Calvin Johnson also the losing, but Calvin Johnson's great. But Barry Sanders did things that we just didn't see. And you're like, you're done? That's it? A fax? You don't get to call it quits like that. We're the ones that get to tell you, when you're out. That just kind of hit me when I saw the thing with Mike Trout. And the U.S. team is loaded. They still might not win the World Baseball Classic. Some of the other teams are just as loaded. So they'll be fine without Mike Trout. But, the greatest moment for the World Baseball Classic, no disrespect to the countries that won that would say, no, that's the biggest moment, was the showdown of Ohtani and Trout. And you couldn't script it in the championship game. And there it was. And now here we are a couple of years later, and he's like, I want to play, but no one wants to insure my $35 million contract because I'm so injury prone.
I don't know if they would have had pro careers, but two of some of the nastiest injuries that I've ever seen that I think cost them their careers in college. Tyrone Prothro, the old Alabama wide receiver.
Yeah.
He snapped his ankle. And then if you remember Andre Ware, the Louisville guard who had his bone sticking out of his ankle during the NCAA tournament.
Not Andre Ware, it's
Kevin.
Kevin.
Was it Kevin Ware? Sorry. Yeah, Kevin Ware.
Yeah.
Those guys, I don't know if they had any pro prospects.
I don't know.
But
I'm not quite sure Ware was going to be a long-time pro, but examples of injuries.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about guys that you saw play at the highest level, and you're like, man, what would have been, what could have been if they just didn't get hit with the injury bug.
Well, could you imagine? I mentioned RG3 earlier. Could you imagine if Washington's going to have to add Jaden Daniels to this list after his season last season, and we don't know what it's going to turn into for his future?
I'd like to be more optimistic than you are, but I understand what you're saying. All right, come back. Put a wrap. Are we doing an overtime, or are we going to do show within the show now? What are we doing? We're doing overtime?
Let's do an overtime.
All right. So on the YouTube stream, Jonas will do a little Beat of Sports overtime there. So hop onto YouTube and look up 96 on the Game Orlando. Click the icon. Click on the live button. Jonas on the stream. By the way, as Chris said, numbers skyrocketed during Movie Wednesday.
Everyone loves Scott Harris.
Skyrocketed. Shocked to see that it looks like a 6-year-old.
Everyone, due to lighting, they think he's got blue hair.
He just took a bow.
He did.
Walking behind me, which in now the 15 years I've known Scott, I don't think he ever stood at that point in the studio ever, and just did that. Wow. The movie Wednesday going his head here, huh? Will you dress up as your favorite movie character next month? Yeah.
Oh boy.
Don't we want that?
Sure.
I think what we should do next month, like the Monday or Tuesday before Scott comes on, is pick like 4 characters, let people vote on what character you should come in dressed as.
I have to have the things to do this.
Well, step it up. Wardrobe. Back for more of the Beat of Sports next.
Time for the latest news, gossip, trends, and off-the-wall stories. Trends.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard.
Hockey quarterfinals at the Olympics. The U.S. and Sweden quarterfinal matchup today. We got the women gold medal match is tomorrow. Americans have not exactly blown away Sweden, so can't take anything for granted today. And then again, the women's gold medal match is set for tomorrow. Chris, got anything today?
My wife wants to do something for Ash Wednesday.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna do something as a family tonight, and then other than that, just be chilling at home.
Your wife enjoyed that donut yesterday.
She
from
loved the
last night
donuts.
that,
I didn't even
Jason Siegel brought in.
I didn't even get to try one.
Hmm.
She had one yesterday, and then she had the other one this morning with her coffee.
Good for her. She deserves it.
What about?
You could use the day off the sweets, pal. Okay.
I haven't had gummy bears.
We're going on to a little bit of sports overtime on the YouTube stream. We're going to leave that up, so join us over there. Big debate about sunflower seeds and other things that we're going to get to, like really important stuff.
It is important. Sunflower seeds.
If you missed any of today's program, go where you get your favorite podcast. Type of the Beat of Sports on Demand. Go to YouTube and to our page, and you can watch the show whenever it's convenient for you as well. We'll see you tomorrow for a Thursday edition of our program. Chris Vasquez, producer. I'm Marc Daniels, Beat of Sports. We're debating. We're talking. I think the part was on air about you and gummy bears.
Something about gummy. Well, we were talking about sunflower seeds first, then we got
No. Oh, yeah, but like Chris takes a handful of gummy bears and eats one at a time.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Then
wrong
you
with
put up
that.
sunflower seeds, and you will shove like 100 sunflower seeds in your mouth.
Yes.
I don't really eat sunflower seeds, but if I did, I am a one seed at a time guy, and you think I'm the oddball.
I do.
So you think your human shovel in the mouth of sunflower seeds is normal?
Yes, that's what everyone does.
Scott Harris is looking at me odd here.
No, gummy bears all at once.
How many at once?
As many fit in my hand.
You would do that? So like 20, 30 gummy bears in your mouth at
However
once?
many can fit in my hand.
Really? I did not have Scott down as a human scooper.
Why not?
I just didn't.
But
Yeah.
sunflower seeds, one at a time.
Seeds are one at a time.
How does that make sense?
Yeah. By the way, and
Are you guys still
yeah, we're on the stream here.
Oh.
Yeah.
By the way, they think Scott Harris looks like a human version of Where's Waldo.
That's really good, by the way. That you look like a human version of Where's Waldo. Come on, that's pretty good. Look at that. Lean in here. Look at that. That's really good, by the way. That person who typed that. That's excellent. Don't take it as a shot. Okay, can I ask you a question? When you do real cheese, Chris, chime in as well. Do you use one chip at a time?
Oh, sorry, no, not the real life Where's Waldo. The colorblind Where's Waldo.
The
'Cause he's
colorblind
he's
Where's
not wearing
Waldo.
red and white. He's wearing blue.
That's actually pretty good. Well, you'll do two chips? When you're at, doing chips and dip, do you do two chips or one chip at a time? One chip at a time.
One chip.
So let me ask you, when you're down to like 4 chips, do you break it in half to try to feel like you got more?
No.
Never?
No.
Do you always measure it out that there's always cheese left?
No.
You always end up with cheese left? Not you, Chris, right?
No.
What? It gets cold?
Kind of solidifies.
Okay. 1 seed versus 100 seeds. Like, and you do all that flavored crap.
I just do ranch. I love ranch.
So you don't do like the pickle or the jalapeno and stuff like that?
Jalapeno, no.
Waldo's leaving, by the way.
Where's Waldo?
He's gone. Actually, it's really, really good by the person who did that.
No. I ranch, or if anything, I'll do regular. But I prefer ranch. Ranch is my go-to.
Okay. So I think tomorrow, we're we're gonna do trash can paper toss.
I'm gonna wreck you.
So I need you, because you get a trash can. I'm gonna get a trash can, and we'll have like a best of 5 or best of 10
Okay.
from a certain distance. Really cutting edge stuff that you can't get anywhere.
Well, I mean, what we could do is I could just put this on one camera.
Yeah.
We can and then go in your studio. That way, we're both just on one camera.
Okay.
That way, it'll probably make things a little bit easier. But I'll still wreck you either way.
Okay.
And I'm still waiting for you to set me up on the baseball field so I can catch a fly ball with my bare hands.
Well, the season started. Maybe not after last night's loss. Not a good time to ask Rich Wallace. Hey, my producer wants to shag some fly balls
with his bare hand.
That's right. You want to catch with your bare hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can.
So you want during actual batting practice?
Yeah. Just hit me a pop fly,
like left or center field,
wherever,
and balls hit, and let's say 350 feet out with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you'll sign the waiver so when the ball goes through your hands and smashes your face, you're not going to sue anybody.
I'll sign the waiver.
You actually think you could catch a high fly ball with your bare hand?
Yes.
Does anybody of the two of you watching the stream believe that that's possible?
Why do you doubt it?
I don't remember you saying with a bare hand. I thought you still with a glove, and I questioned you could do that.
No. I played baseball when I was younger.
10 fly balls hit to 10 fly balls hit to you in the outfield. How many do you catch?
Bare hand or glove?
Glove.
Glove? I'd say 8.
8.
Mm-hmm.
So you're acknowledging you would drop 2. I mean, drop. Not like I'm running to get it. Like you have a chance to catch it and you drop.
Oh, no. If I have a chance to get, I'm talking about just like running towards it and trying to catch it. I might miss too, but no. If I'm under it, I'm catching it.
Any fly ball you're catching.
Any fly ball.
So out of 10 hit without a glove.
Without a glove, I'd say probably 4.
All right. I now I have to make yeah.
I could do it.
Let us win a couple of games and it's in a better mood. I mean, they're 3-1. Just
right.
a tough loss for UCF last night. But let me, win a few games and I go, hey, I got somebody that wants to do this. There's no way.
And I'll sign the waiver if you need me to.
There's just no way.
Why do you doubt me?
All right.
Why do you doubt me?
Anything else before I finish the brown water of the day?
Or Jack Daniels?
Water.
Mark Jack Daniels.
Everything else good?
Everything's good.
All right. Follow the stream. We'll be back tomorrow and do more show within the show and the stream and keep adding some stuff. All right. See you then.
See you guys. Fire Jerry.